Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, May 1st. Happy May. And let's just get started by taking a look at the news of the day. So, lost that. Let me just pull up Chrome here. I have been spending some time with some people that are trying to learn the trade that I am thoroughly enjoying teaching, or at least trying to. And we end up remoting into my computer from where we are, and the computer we're using to remote is a Mac. For anyone that doesn't know, I am not a fan of the Mac computers, and it seems like every time we remote into here, something funky happens. So there might be a couple of things on a chart that, as the day goes on, uh, I'll notice and have to change. But like here, for example, the fact that all my Chrome pages have gone away. So let's just give it a second. In the meantime, why don't we just start adjusting our levels for oil? So let's find our value area low, VPOC, value area high from Friday. Find our current overnight low. Current overnight low, overnight high, and overnight VPOC. All right, so we got that part done. And now let's bring over our calendar. It's still loading. So in the meantime, while that's happening, I'm going to do the same thing here with S&P. I'll just adjust my levels while I am waiting. A lot of these levels seem to be overlapping here, so it's getting a little difficult to see them on my chart. Where is that? Okay. It'll be easier when I zoom in a little, but just for this minute, it's a little tough. Okay. So once again, I have my value area high, value area low from Friday plotted out. I have my overnight high, overnight low, and now I'm guessing, yeah, there it is. Okay, 2374, and now overnight VPOC. And now let's zoom in here a touch and give me a chance to make sure I got everything lined up right. Value area low, VPOC, value area high. Overnight high is down here. Overnight VPOC and overnight low. Okay, so now that the calendar has loaded in the charts, I'm sorry, in the screen, let's go to today and see what we have. At 8:30, we had a couple of releases, so those have come and gone. And the next one is at 9:30. We have PMI, and that's going to be PMI 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Looks like we are probably going to have a bit of a choppy morning because we then have a speaker at 10:45. So we're going to be expecting a little bit of chop. We're going to keep that in mind when we're getting into our trades and potentially setting profit targets. Let's bring over the oil chart. And let's go and restart our pen. Okay. All right. So zoom in here a little. Let's take a look to see if there are any levels that were breached that need to be removed from the chart. Remember, this part, taking and leaving levels on is more arbitrary than most of the other things that we do. But for me, this level here is going to come off because we traded from above it, we came through, and then we traded from below it and came through. So this level really didn't hold as support or resistance. So I'm just going to slide this up. That's going to become my high of day from Friday. This level stays. It really wasn't tested, but let's copy and paste and create a Friday low level. I'm going to leave this one on because what you see happens here, we come down from above, we test it, it holds a support by the time this candle closes. We test again, we push below it, and then we end up running back up above, and it holds a support by the time this candle closes. This one is one where it gets kind of arbitrary. I am going to leave this on for now. But I certainly, if somebody else were doing this and just trying to find areas of support and resistance, I would not be surprised if they did not leave that on. I was showing someone yesterday, when you take a look at my chart like it is right now, it seems like there's an awful lot of lines, right? But if you think about it, on average, we're trading about 100, 120 ticks as a range in oil. So let me just show you, if I took Friday's range, right, if that's the only thing I had on the chart right now. So let me expand this out. Expand this out. Okay. Now take a look. All you have is a swing high here, a previous support or resistance here, previous support or resistance here. That's it. Now we know overnight high, overnight low, overnight VPOC, and yesterday's value area high low, which I guess I could even make a little bit more accurate. Yesterday's value area high, value area low, and VPOC. So there are not, in most cases, there's not that many levels within a day that are going to crowd your screen. It just looks a lot worse because now if you look at the range of what we have here, the very bottom is 48.77, maybe a tick or two less. Very top, about 49.70. So you're not even 100 ticks. So I just wanted to point that out because I hear a lot of, sometimes I'll talk to people or I'll listen to other people that are trying to explain trading or something like that, and they'll show a chart like this and they'll say, oh, forget it, there's way too much information on this chart. Well, that's true. If I was trying to trade today based on what happened on January 30th, yeah, then I would agree. But as we zoom in and we just look at the price points that matter for today, there's a lot less information that we need to be worried about, and should be a lot less confusing. All right. Anyhow, currently trading 48.98. So let us see here again. Like, so I'm gonna have to. I have to get rid of some of that stuff. The only thing is, I really want to see this previous micro composite back here. So let's do this. 48.98. Let's center that just about right here. And what do we have above? We have a little over 100 ticks to the top side and more than. Okay, let's try that again. 48.98. Let's just call it 49. Okay, so here we have 49, 110 ticks to the downside, 110 ticks to the upside. Okay, plenty of room. So what I'm looking for in this microcomposite VPOC is I want to be able to see areas of distribution, high volume nodes, low volume nodes, things of that nature. But let's start with our hypos. Hypo 1 is going to be, so notice that we're opening outside of Friday's value area. We're opening below Friday's value area, but inside of Friday's range. So first thing we're going to look for is going to be a test down to overnight low, see if that can hold. If not, we're going to look to come back and test these two previous swings and then make a push back up coming in towards yesterday's value area low, ultimately yesterday's VPOC, and I think possibly to the top side, value area high, and beyond, really. Value area high and microcomposite VPOC are kind of together there. So that's definitely an area that if we do get an opening, whether we come and test down first, or you know what, let me finish this one before I go into my hypo 2. That's going to be hypo 1. And sorry, one more thing I just need to set up here. 1 second. Okay. All right, so that's my hypo 1. Now, hypo 2 is going to be an open where we don't test down. We immediately come to value area low, might get a little resistance there, but then we break it and start making our move up again, and we're looking for test of overnight high, ultimately a test of microcomposite VPOC value area high, and now possibly if we do get a push like this where we're coming strong right off the open, now we're going to start looking to target this naked VPOC up here, and that'll be hypo 2. Okay, now remember, hypo 1 and hypo 2 can work together. So what that means is hypo 1 was this. Hypo 1 was a test down, ultimately hold around here, and then turn up. And we looked at it stopping somewhere around here. There's no reason hypo 1 can't go further. So it's just important to recognize the difference between hypo 1 and hypo 2 is what's happening right here for the most part. That's the major difference. Let's get rid of that so that we don't save that as hypo 2. All right, hypo 3 is going to be a push to the upside off the open. Oh, sorry, wrong color. Let's go back to yellow. Push to the upside off the open, fail at value area low, possibly make its way to VPOC and turn down, and then begin to start testing overnight low, see if we can't break below that. These previous swings, and if we do start pushing down, now we're looking to test this former microcomposite VPOC and naked VPOC, ultimately down to this in this distribution, this high volume area in this distribution, which we already have marked off as a swing. So we're not going to bother adding more information there. And again, this move can certainly head lower, but this is going to be all we need for this morning. So that's going to be hypo 3. Okay, let's see what time it is. Get the screen out of the way. Where are we at? 8:53. Okay, I think we have time to do the S&P. We already moved the levels over in the S&P. Let's take a look at what the overnight trading looked like on the S&P. Okay. So it looks like we opened, pushed down, and then we have been shooting pretty much straight up since looks like what, 7 o'clock. Wow. Okay. Inventory definitely net long at this point. Let's. You know what? I'm going to. Before I do that, I want to change my color for my bids on the depth of market that I have on the screen. Sometimes it takes a while to refresh, and I just want to be sure that I'm prepared for the open on oil. Oh, good. We'll do the same thing here with the S&P. All right, perfect. So now let's bring back in our hourly chart, see where we're trading. 85.75. Okay, so we have again, I'm going to just shrink this down for a minute to see what's behind us here. Really not much to deal with. Okay, so everything I need from back there I have already drawn on my charts. Speaking of which, let us take a minute. I'm going to copy and paste this VPOC. And I'm going to make a new one here. I want to cover over this naked VPOC so that it ends up showing me on my other chart. All right, so one more time, we are currently trading 85.75. So let's get that centered. That's pretty good. And what do we have below us? 15, let's call it 16 ticks below us, and a little more than 16, not ticks, I'm sorry, points. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, actually, we're going to expand that a little bit. All right, so because of the fact that we do have some levels above us, we could watch for some shorts, but I am much more interested in being long than short the S&P where we are as of today. And that could certainly change within the first hour. But for now, for our homework purposes, we're going to show some hypos for both sides. So first things first, we're going to look to see at the open push towards overnight high. Sorry, you know what we didn't do? Let us check for any levels that need to be removed or adjusted. So we could see that the high here, this previous swing, we came awfully close. So we're going to put that up here at the high. We're going to shift that a couple of ticks. We did the same thing here on the low. We're going to shift that a couple of ticks. So we have a swing high and swing low from Friday that actually worked out nicely as compared to what was on the chart before. So those held nicely. That's the only levels. Here's one right in the middle next to current overnight VPOC. That certainly can go. We have been on both sides of that. I'm not even sure where that one came from, but that needs to be gone. Okay, so back to our homework. Give us a little room to draw here. So we're going to look for an open test of overnight high, possibly get up to the high of day from Friday. So resistance. Look for a turn back down. Keep in mind we are currently opening outside of Friday's value, inside of Friday's range. So if Friday's high holds, we're going to look to see if we can't get a move down through overnight VPOC and back to value area high from Friday. This move can continue its way down to VPOC from Friday. At this point, we're talking about an 8-point move, so certainly there's more than that in the average range, and can even further make its way down. We see we were all the way down here at overnight low earlier overnight, and this is microcomposite VPOC. This is going to be hypo 1. That's going to basically be the downtrend. As this day, if this is how the day goes, we would be looking for opportunities to short on pullbacks into things like the middle of the day, the VWAP, maybe even the 21 EMA, previous points of consolidation as we would draw them while those happen. Okay, this is hypo 1, and I'll take a minute again today just to talk about the idea of static levels versus dynamic levels on our chart. Hypo 2 is going to be an open with a pullback, and this, I don't necessarily think that it has to pull back all the way to a value area high. This pullback can stop short of that. But the idea would be to find support on a pullback, then get up towards overnight high, Friday's high, break it, and start heading up towards this naked VPOC, and ultimately further up to this VPOC, which although was previously tested, we didn't really stay around it for long. We pushed away from it pretty good. So I'll leave that on the chart. Actually, while I'm up here, I should also be plotting this high on the chart. Okay, so that's going to be hypo 2. Hypo 3 is going to be a more of a range bound situation, and that's going to be where we come up, test Friday's high, maybe this VPOC turn, ultimately push down, get back towards value area high, VPOC value area low, maybe even Friday's low, overnight low, turn, and kind of stay within that 2390, 2377 range. That's going to be hypo 3. And again, remember, these hypos can play out throughout the day, where several of them play out, or parts of several of them play out. And it doesn't really matter to us. Truth is, we don't actually have to draw these. We can very easily just watch the chart as we go, pay attention every time we come to a level that matters to us, and try to just kind of form. Oh, did I miss the open? All right, hang on. We just opened. Sorry. So we just opened at right near the overnight low. We don't have positive divergence, so that right now we are looking for opportunities to short on a move up, and I'm very interested in one pretty much right almost now. This here's a previous triple top right here, micro triple top from a little bit ago. We have a low volume area here in the overnight profile, overnight value area low. So I'm watching for a short, preferably up into this area here, this 4903, 4902 area. Let's see some order flow here. Okay, buyers still stepping in here. We're hitting bids, but bids were adding on. I noticed there's another setting change that I have to deal with. Okay, no big deal. Actually, I don't mind it. I don't. These yellow numbers were previously further away from this, but I don't mind how this looks. But let's see. All right, so obviously we still see buyers stepping in. We haven't yet gotten up to that triple top. We might not. So that's kind of why we're watching this order flow right now. We're looking for more information to potentially take a short here. And that can change. That idea can change so more buyers are stepping in. If the BBs start to show positive divergence, I mean they're definitely rolling up now. The 610 and the 987 have made a nice move up. Even the 1597 is starting to roll up. So we would want this short to happen fairly soon and to then move fairly quickly in our favor. Because if it doesn't, if we get into a short and we get consolidation, those BBs will set up for positive divergence, and there might not be enough room between where we are and then the low of day to be able to take some profit. So the idea of the short absolutely could change. Okay, so just 1 second here. Oh, come on. All right, so still, we just got to that triple top. So watching now. I'd like to let this candle develop a little bit. Still 517 ticks left in this candle. And we're watching, see there again, we were trading the bid, but the bid added on size. So this is still pretty positive for the buyers. Now, please remember, order flow can literally change in a split second. So what looks positive right now could be negative in the blink of an eye. But here again, we're trading the bid, and this time we see the contracts are decreasing on the bid side. So buyers are not jumping back on the bid. We're not adding supply there. They just did. See the bid getting firmed up again. We could see a tick beneath us, that 94 or 95 bid. There's 173 contracts there. That's been adding on while we've been trading here. But I don't get nearly as excited about things that are happening away from the best price. So now we just went down there to trade it, and still 139 stayed. So there's definitely some actual supply down there. Trading the offer. Offers have disappeared. Okay, they just came back, and then buyers stepped up. So we're watching to see if this 48.96 becomes bid. Right now, it has remained offer. They have added sellers here. We've refreshed the sellers. All the contracts were taken, and then more contracts were added on, which is exactly what was happening here again. So that's happened on both sides now, the bid and the ask. So we have a real stalemate here. Still have a ways to go before the candle closes, so we don't know how this one's going to look at the close. So we really got to be patient with that. I hate getting short inside a candle, and then all of a sudden, by the time that candle closes, it's just a giant bullish candle. You know, just a huge green body. So sellers, all right, there we go. We're getting awfully close. All right, we're gonna take a short here. So we're going short. Candles coming near to being completed. We got short here, and the idea now is we're going to actually move this profit. No, we're not going to move this profit target. So I'm leaving it where it is for now. This is actually exactly what I wanted to see. I am moving this. I'm also moving my stop to break even at this point, because right now this trade that I'm in, my idea here. Let me bring in our other chart. Moving my profit target further. The idea for this trade, this particular trade right now, and this can change. You got to be careful here, because the way this just turned back up and took my stop. See, the BB's held as positive divergence here, right? So that's why I moved my stop to break even. We got a quick push down. The expectation, the hope was that we were going to get down far enough to get our 10-tick profit target. But then when it started moving quickly, had we gotten one more strong candle down, I believe the 987 BBs would not be showing divergence anymore. It would have shown a downward slope. So I put my stop at break even, because I knew that if we pushed up like we just did, that would change the shape of the BBs. And at this point, although I still think we are heading down, I'm not crazy about the way the BBs have set up for this. So I'm actually now looking to see if we can't. I'd love one more test down here of overnight low with a decent opportunity to get long. So no harm, no foul on that first one. It was nice how it pushed away quickly, which is what I was looking for. But I was really looking for an extended move there. Okay, so we're back up to middle of day. Had we gotten a better entry, and honestly, there's not much I really could say that I could have, and I could have, or that I saw to get me a better entry, we would have actually gotten our 10-tick profit target. What I really want to be careful of here, and if it happens, so be it, is, so price came back up and stopped us out. But what I really don't want to have happen now is now we get that big flush down, because it's going to be a little tough for me to get into a short, meaning it's just going to be hard for my mentality to try to get into a short where we are right now. We have positive divergence on the BBs, the 610 and the 987. At least for now, we do. It looks like if we were to come back and create another test the low again. So it's hard for me to want to get short here with the current low of day only being 5-6 ticks away. But sellers are still stepping in here. I honestly would feel a lot better to see this push away, because the way this set up, if it turns down now, it's like I said, it might be a tough trade for me to feel comfortable with. But then it would suck, because we got a decent short, and then it would have just kind of faked us out if it stops here. But we're still watching now. We're still looking for a potential short opportunity. But in all honesty, the way these BBs are setting up, for now, I am going to sit on my hands. The move would have to come up quite a bit further. I'd be okay with looking at areas up by this swing, I don't even think I'd be happy shorting here with this current high a day at this 99 area. No, actually, I would be okay with that. But I'm more interested right now in a pullback into a long. Okay, here's our pullback. Let's see. Buyer stepped in there. Now, see, again, we have such a strong bullish candle. I really want to let this candle close. Or if we see buyers step in strongly down here, we will step in as well. No, there come sellers. Let's see. Let's see what the buyers do down here. So we got to be careful here because this is one of those spots. I love this price. I love where we are from a price perspective. Buyers are adding on. Oh, as soon as I did that, they changed. So we might be in trouble on this one. So hang on. I'm gonna watch this order flow here for a second. I want to see what happens as we trade the offer and trade the bid. Okay. So offers are continuing to add on now, as is the bid. Okay, there we go. Let's see if we can start pushing up here. So I don't like that the sellers they're still adding on to the offer here. We're trading the offer, which is good, but the sellers keep adding contracts, which is not good. So I'm not. I do like the shape of the BBs. Put my profit target at overnight value area low, which is ahead of overnight VPOC and Friday's value area low. So that's where we're putting our profit target while we only have one contract. If we are put in the position to take a second contract, if we decide to take a second contract, actually, I think we're going to move this down, and we are willing to scale here. BBs are still showing positive divergence down here. And buyers have held that overnight low now one more time. So I'm just taking my eyes off for a second to do one or two other things here. I realize I have forgotten to upload the last few days worth of trading. Let's see what's left off here. Okay, so 26. Okay, so that one's not ready. Okay. I know you guys don't see what I was doing. Sorry for just rambling on. So I don't mind this consolidation down here right now. As we consolidate, you'll notice the BBs are getting a little stronger and stronger. Certainly, what I really want to see is I'd like to see us get above the current middle of day, get above VWAP, get above this 21 moving average, and then let's see if we can't make a push towards value area low from Friday. I have to tell you, I actually really like how this yellow number is now closer to these white numbers. There is a change though I want to make there. It's going to force our chart to refresh, but it's okay. I'm just trying to see what the difference will be in the size of these bars. I probably should be doing it on the S&P, although I guess it really doesn't matter either way. With okay, it could be wider than that. So I am still watching order flow here. If need be, I would close my trade if things don't if we don't get to our profit target, but there's other things that pop up that are of concern. I would be willing to close my trade earlier, but right now this is kind of what we're waiting for. We really now want to see what happens if we can get back up to this current high of day. We really want to see what happens. Wait a minute, what the hell's going on here now? I don't understand. My mouse is moving. I have no idea why that just happened. So I'm not holding down my mouse button, but it's moving as if I am. That's kind of that can make it tough to trade. Give it a chance to refresh one more time. Hopefully that will resolve that. No, it has not. There we go. So I'm not crazy about that little stop there, but I mean, it could take a breath. It could take a breath. And right now, so you'll notice the BBs have sloped up. If we look down here, how the BBs have sloped up since the open. But you'll also notice price really has not. Price has been in this area of consolidation here. But in the meantime, the BBs have had a nice little uptrend. I don't like it when the BBs get too far ahead of price. That overextension on the BBs does not always work out well for us. So we really want to see price catch up to those BBs. I really want to see price start pushing a little bit here. And right now, I really do. I got to get these. I got to get these. This depth of market showing a little clearer now because I can't really tell. That's what I get for messing around. Put that back the way it was and just leave it alone. I'll figure it out later. There we go. That looks much better for me now. Okay, so let's see here. We're trading offer. Let's watch what happens to the contracts on the. Okay, we came down to trade bid. That was a lot of trading happening at the bid right there. Let's see if buyers can't step up right back. Trading offer right now. Meanwhile, offer added size. Not a great sign for us. Again, this is very microscopic. Okay, this is not to say that, well, the changes that I'm talking about are automatically going to create enough of a price move that we need to get out of our trade. Although it certainly might. Shit, what that just looked like. So again, trading bid. Okay, we're trading bid, but we're adding contracts. So that's okay. Now we need to see us start trading the offer. So we traded offer, but then we added contracts there. That's not okay. Still positive divergence on the BBs, which is why I'm not closing out this trade just yet. I very well could close this trade out and look for another entry opportunity if we continue to push down, but I don't mind. I don't mind where I'm in from. I would be willing to scale. Actually, I don't think I would add more at the price that I'm in at now. I mean, it would have to be very drastic to show that. There'd have to be some very obvious signs. But some bids just step back up. Let's see if we can hold one more time here at this VWAP and middle of the day and start putting pressure towards at the high of day here. I can envision a way that this trade could take a while. So what could happen, and I'd be okay with, I don't want this to be the way it goes, but what could happen is we get a further push down, we start consolidating. That would get the BBs back in line. Now we would definitely have positive divergence on these two, and we may even have a slight positive divergence on this, but we would definitely have it on 2 out of 3. That would get the BBs back a little bit more in order, and then potentially build up some energy for the next push up. So that is one way this can play out. That's not the way I want it to. I really rather see this get up above soon. But keep in mind again, if we do push down, I will be willing to scale based on the way the BBs look, based on the positive divergence. I would be willing to scale into this position. And we have about 5 minutes till equities open. Take a look at what we've done here in the S&P. Basically, we've had a move straight up, and the BBs reflect exactly that. So not really much information to be taken from those as of yet. And sorry, I'm just going to continue to try to get this a little better for me. Okay, that seems better. That looks like where these are at their maximum, they won't overlap my candles, and they're also not overlapping the volume profile. So I think we're gonna do the same thing on this side here. Okay. That's good. So really not much to do in oil right now. You know, again, if we can consolidate here, if we end up consolidating right around here, and because of it, get the BBs to turn down and kind of like get back in line with price action, I'd be okay with that. But that would mean this trade is potentially going to take a lot longer than I would like it to. And so again, taking a look back here at equities, overnight VPOC has shifted, so we want to adjust that. Where is the high from Friday? So it looks like okay, right here, Friday high. All right, so we are opening inside Friday's range, as we talked about in the homework on the S&P. We are opening inside Friday's range, but outside of Friday's value. So we are still going to be watching for a test of the overnight high, test of Friday's high as one thing to watch for. And if we get failure there, we're going to look to get short towards value area high, maybe even into VPOC and the close from Friday here, this yesterday's close. See, as crazy as this sounds, I don't like. See how we have this bearish. I'm sorry. Well, here we have this bearish candle followed by what would, if it closed this way, would have been a bullish candle. If this candle closes as a strong, if this candle closes as a strong bullish candle, you're going to see the trajectory in the BBs are going to be pretty steep to the upside, but price is not. So it's a further extension up. I need four or five of these candles to go bullish. So either price has to catch up with the BBs, or the BBs have to slow down in their trajectory upward and catch up with the price. So that right now, what I would like is price to start pushing upwards and starting to catch up with that trajectory, that slope that we currently have in the BBs. But we're going to start in the next few seconds or minute getting a little more focused on the S&P, since it's what's going to open. And every so often with the open of the equities comes a quick move in oil as well. VWAP right now is offering us more support than resistance, but for me, not enough of verification one way or the other. We are in what I would consider right now a 50-50 trade, but we are in it from a good price. I like the direction of the BBs in the sense that if we were to move down right now, I would be willing to add into my position. I don't like that they're overextended. That does kind of worry me to how much room we have to the upside for this trade. So conflicting information, but I'm happy with the entry point. 30 seconds. 30 seconds from the equities open. See that if we're going to consolidate like that, hang on, let's watch the S&P. So we're looking for a couple things. One are going to be pullbacks with opportunities to try to get along. Right now, value area high would really be the area I'd like to see us pull back to. While that's happening, I am also keeping an eye on oil for the potential of adding into this position. So I am trying to watch them both right now. And I can tell you that is harder than I remember it being in the old days. But I guess the old days, the screen was set up a little differently. Okay, so right now it's S&P that is making its move in the direction that we want. I'd rather be long than short. Although we talked about how we might look for a short setup here, I'd rather be long than short in the S&P. And come on, oil. I would need. I'd like more of a pullback in the S&P, or if not, a decent candlestick setup with order flow to confirm it. So oil has gotten below VWAP here. So I am still watching. I'm still watching oil for an add-on if the pullback comes far enough down. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put my scales in now because I do like the way it looks. I do like the way it looks in the sense of the BBs, and if I'm not watching it, I know I'm going to want scales, so they're in. Now, S&P we formed a nice potential candle setup. We have to let this bar start to trade a little bit before we jump in. And if it gets away from us, so be it. Okay, so now since oil is heading up here, I need to start paying attention to it again because if we show reasons to close this trade ahead of our profit target, we will. So I'm watching them both now. Definitely looking at S&P for a potential long here. And oil has not made the push I want. Darn it. So here S&P, really what I want is I want this candle to get bearish. I want to see us push down a little bit before this candle closes. I really want it to be, I really want to pull back further. I want to move further down. So that's good. That candle doesn't excite me at all with the way it looks now for any potential long opportunity. So I don't feel pressure to look for a long there in the S&P. I'd like it even better if we can close a tick or two lower than we are now, but I doubt that'll be the case. I don't think there's enough time left in this candle. Only 64 ticks left to do that. Okay, I like that. That's really good. So with that, indecisiveness followed by indecisiveness gives me a chance to kind of take a breather and see. Let's see what happens in this candle. I would love to see this push down further still. And I really have nothing to do with. Oh, remember we talked about the idea of a choppy open. It's exactly what we're getting. There goes a nice bearish candle in S&P. So it's good we didn't get long yet. But it's really oil that's bothering me right now. I'm very tempted to close out this trade, but the BB's still so positive. As we move down, that upslope in the BBs becomes a benefit. If we stay still and the BBs start, heading upwards like it has been, that's a problem. But when we push down like we are right now, I have no problem if we push down and scale me in. In fact, I would love that. Now what's happening is the BBs are going to turn down, but they're not going to get back. All right, so that's good. I'm very happy with that scale. And what that's going to do is that's going to give me a reason to put out a 10 tick profit target. All right, S&P continues to push down. So now we have two targets here on oil. We have one at a 10-tick profit target, and we have one that we're leaving right now. It's 19 ticks, but it's more based on overnight value area low and the overnight VPOC and value area low from Friday session as levels for that exit. Okay, in the meantime, let's continue to watch S&P here. Not much for us to do while it's continuing to form bearish candle after bearish candle. We do need some type of candle setup in here to show a little bit of indecisiveness. But for now, we're seeing sellers step in. We're continuing to push to new lows for the day. And what's happening here with the S&P is we really want to try to find support right down in this area. This what is that, 8250 area. Really want to try to find support down there. But if it happens above that, that's okay. You know, again, it would just have to be somewhat clear. Oil right now is becoming a little tricky. Well, these sellers really seem to be keeping the lid on it down here. Let me see here if we can. Yeah, so they just did again. They just added back onto the offer. I can see us potentially getting pushed down into our next scale, but hopefully that would, of course, be the end of it. I don't necessarily want that right now. I don't mind there being a bounce up here. Let's start pushing back up a little bit. Maybe even a little consolidation where again letting the BBs kind of catch up, letting the BBs level off. That once again that puts the trade in the position where it could take a while to ultimately go in the direction we'd like it to, but right now we kind of just gotta wait. S&P, we've gotten some bearish candle after bearish candle. We're now right now it's a doji, the current candle, so some indecisiveness going on here. I like how this is starting to form. Let's see how this bar closes. Again, for me, I'd really rather this come down further in these last 487 ticks. I'd like to see us hit bids and push down further, giving us a better potential entry price. Okay, so buyers stepped in there. Again, what I'd like to see is further downward pressure here on the S&P. And oil is just stopped. Just absolute quicksand right now for oil. I mean, right now there is clearly more selling pressure than there is buying support in oil. But again, right now. I like the trade because of the positive divergence on the BBs as we've come to this overnight low. I like the fact that it's an overnight low. I have two swing levels that could act as support where we can push down and see either one of these hold a support. I don't mind the consolidation, especially if it allows the BBs to catch up. But right there was an attempt by buyers. Sellers immediately stepped right back in oil. Came up to VWAP, and VWAP held its resistance. And we're in such a tight range right now. And so here, S&P still haven't. This is starting to form as a nice potential support area, but I'm not going to look to just get long yet. We certainly will have negative divergence on the BBs if we are to push towards the overnight high and yesterday high area. So again, in a lot of cases, time is not your friend in a trade. Right now, with the way the BBs are set up, I don't mind this consolidation in oil, giving the BBs a chance to catch their breath, to turn back down, especially while they still have positive divergence. However, if it takes too long, then I think the divergence almost loses some of its validity. But what does too long mean? I don't have a number for that. But really would have liked somewhat of a push up earlier here. You know, again, easily could have closed this trade out 5-6 ticks. Same thing with the first short we took. Easily could have closed that trade out 7-8 ticks. But although we were expecting choppiness and a tight range this morning, I was not expecting this tight of a range. This is what 99 on the high to 80. This is 15 ticks. I mean, that's crazy. That's about as low of a first hour range as I can remember. So S&P still no real great trade setups for us in here yet. It's 9:42. Okay, we still got some time to see something happen. Might not though. Remember, we had that news, the news coming out today. I think there was some at 10, 10:30, maybe even something a little bit later than that, if I remember right. So it might not develop. I'm okay actually. The entries we've taken today in oil, I was completely fine with the entry we took on the first short. I was completely fine. The fact that it didn't go an extra 2 ticks to get us out, not a ton I can do or complain about that. It's just a tight range. I'm completely fine with our entries currently with the long. I was fine with the entries with the long when we originally took them. Again, the fact that it just couldn't get a couple of more ticks. Who's to expect the 15 tick range? So I'm very happy with our entries. You know, could we have gone a little bit more aggressive on our exit? Absolutely, but not just not something I was prepared for. I wasn't prepared for this insanely tight range here. Remember, on S&P, we are still looking for a push down. I'd like to get more of a push down towards value area high here from Friday, even a little higher than that. Start getting into a position I would love at about 82.50, could even be 83, but there would have to be things that show themselves. Oil need to get above VWAP at this point, and start showing some buyer. I mean, right now buyers are holding. You know, it's not that there's been a crazy amount of selling pressure or a crazy amount of buying pressure. It's just been tight. Fortunately, not much for me to tell you. I really don't want to be looking at order flow right now because it will drive me crazy. The amount of back and forth, it will absolutely drive me nuts. I mean, probably a good time to teach it to you guys, but uh, it's my head will explode. Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second here. Let me look at something. Okay, good. I really like how where I have the yellow number now, the amount of ticks left in the bar closer to the amount of contracts on the bid and the ask. That's actually been a pretty good help for me. So S&P, again, really tight range. Really tight range since the open. Not much going on. Didn't quite get a pullback that we wanted yet. You heard me saying that I'm not all that interested in getting short in the S&P. A nice move up here, depending on how it happened, because of the negative divergence that we would have in the BBs, could set us up for a potential short opportunity. But that move might not happen all that quickly. What do we have? 15 minutes left. I should say 15 minutes to 10, not because that's just the time that I will be. Honestly, there's a very good chance I'll be wrapping this up before then. Let's see what time this report actually was. So we have a 9:45. All right, we have a 9:45 PMI and a 10 o'clock. So that puts me in the position now of the idea: do we want to be in a position as we get closer to that news release? Which 9:45 has passed, so the answer is yes. We'll be in a position for that, but it's really the 10 o'clock one that's the major one. But PMI is not one of those releases that make me get all too panicky. Okay, so let's see what we can do here with oil. Man. Come on, buyers. Come on. Get me out here. All right, we got one. Thank God. That was crazy. Okay, so now we're going to move our stop to break even +1, and I'm getting very itchy to potentially even close this trade here. But buyers are I have not actually entered this order, so I have it here ready. Currently, my profit target is where it has been at 49.06, but I have this ready if I want to place this trade to enter this. But right now I'm okay. Gonna leave it as is. We'll leave our stop at break even. We will cancel our last scale. So S&P, again, this is what we want. We want a stronger push. We want to come towards value area low and see a nice setup, preferably in a combination of candlestick and order flow would be best. One or the other is good enough, but the combination of the two would really be best. It is certainly possible in oil that we get a pushback, stop us out at our break-even +1, and then it makes its way up. And if that happens, so be it. Because if I have to keep watching this trade in oil, again, knowing my bad habits, it would not be an easy thing for me. Okay, so this now, again, I would not mind some consolidation happening up here, especially if we can stay above these swings, which we, as I'm saying, we did not. I wouldn't mind some consolidation happening, giving the BBs a chance to kind of catch their breath. I really don't look. I don't want it to come and pull back and get us out of our trade, especially since most likely if that were to happen, the BBs are still showing positive divergence that we could easily see a push back up. But it is potential of what could happen on this trade. I don't just want to close this out here, although actually, as I say that, I might change my mind on that. So let's take a look here at this order flow. So we're trading bid. No, offers just came down. So sellers are hitting bids and then lowering immediately. Buyers just step back up. So again, I want to be careful not to overanalyze this order flow because it's been choppy all morning. There's nothing to say that we will not continue to have that chop, but just at a slightly higher price point. I am watching the order flow. I'm just not shouting it out because it really is. It really is just going to be a lot of information, but without much movement from it. We just know that, like there was nothing to tell us that move that just happened, that 17 tick move. It was nothing to tell us that was coming. It just did. So we're seeing buyers step in 48.93. Seen that a couple times now. But now the question is, can we extend the range of the day, push up higher? The big bid just came in there. That was, and it's high bid. That was impressive. Large buy trade just went off. Large block. All right, I'm closing this trade here. We're going to take our, I believe it's about 9.5, 10 ticks. And the reason for that is I wasn't moving my profit target from where it was from my 06. So at this point, the high of day was 01. So I had 5 ticks more to go to hit my profit target, but 9 ticks to go back to break even. I will take this trade here at this point, getting close to the news release. Now starting to sit in a range again. I'd really rather not be in the trade for the 10 o'clock news release because you just don't know. So that is okay with me. If it happens to get a giant spike before that news release to 06, hey, so be it. It won't make me happy. I probably will curse a little bit because the timing of that would just kind of suck, but that's okay. See, like even right there, just those quick few extra ticks would have been. Oh, you kidding me? That's crazy. So let's see. Last time we broke out, we pulled back down a good 8 ticks or so, 9 ticks. Let's see if that's the same thing that happens here. Really, no setups in the S&P, at least not for me. But then for now, since I'm not going to be getting into any more trades, I will call it a morning. Turned into at least a winning morning. Very happy with entries. If you remember, first short we took, very happy with it. Just didn't get to the 10 ticks, and like I said, that early in the day, who's to expect such a tight range? And then happy with our second position as we original long, and happy with the add-on that we did. And happy with my exit right now. Yeah, certainly could have squeezed a couple more ticks out, but there's nothing to say that if we made this push up here, like we just witnessed, but it didn't get to our 06 profit target, there's nothing to say that we'd be closing it out any better than where we did. So for now, that's going to be it. If you have any questions, get in touch. If not, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye-bye.